welcome back to Deep Dive. My name's Hayden. I'm glad that you're joining us. And we're going to be in Mark chapter 1. And I love the stories because we have a guy named John the Baptist who kind of reminds me, I think, of my dad, just this grizzly bear of a man who, eats honey, he eats locusts. He's kind of this wild, crazy, zany guy. But he has a specific role. And he has a specific job, and he knows his role, he knows his job. And we know his job because of Mark chapter 1, verse 2. It says this. It says, as is written in Isaiah the prophet, I will send my messenger ahead of you. You will prepare your way, a voice of the one calling in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight paths for him. And this is exactly what John realizes. He realizes that he's the messenger and he's supposed to go ahead of Jesus and he's supposed to prepare the way for others to hear about who Jesus is and what Jesus has done and how Jesus is the one that God has sent. And I love this is because all of us are supposed to do the exact same thing. We're supposed to be the messenger to our friends, the messengers to the people on our sports teams, the messenger to our family members, and we're supposed to help prepare the way. But there's a big difference here that I want you to understand. I remember I had a neighbor, his name was Brian, and Brian and me, we played a lot of video games and we played a lot of, Xbox 360, and we would stay up way too late. We had conversations about life and we played on football together, then we skated together and we did so many things together. And I remember I was going to church, my family was going to church, and I would talk about, small groups and camps and all these fun things that I got to do at church. And I remember one day I started to see his inquiry. I started to see him take an interest, and he asked me, he said, what are you doing this Wednesday night? And I said, oh, this is my moment. I'm the messenger, I'm preparing the way for this guy to come to Jesus, and this is my moment. I'm kind of a little bit scared. I got the nerves in my belly, okay, the butterflies. And I'm like, well, actually, I'm going to church. Would you want to go with me? And he just looks at me, bold face, and he just says, no. He just says no, and I'm like, ugh. I'm just feeling crushed. I'm feeling but I was the messenger. That was my role. That was my job. I understood it. I was preparing the way. But here's the difference between preparing and convincing, is that we think that sometimes that when we're the messenger and we're preparing for other people to listen to who Jesus is, that it's our job to make them become a Christian. But that's not the truth, guys. The truth is that we're just the messenger. We're just the person who's hopefully planted the seed and somebody else is hearing the truth about God. But what makes the seed grow? It's the water, it's the soil, it's so many different factors of helping that tree grow and blossom. And for me and you, it's for us to lay the groundwork for Jesus to come and move in this person's heart. And I know this is a story of failure, but there's also been stories of victories. And my encouragement for you is just realize that you're the messenger and you're preparing the way. And you might get a no, and that's okay. But hopefully there's also other stories where there's victories of how God has worked in people's lives because you said, I'm still a messenger, even when I get no's, and I'm still preparing the way for others to hear about who Jesus is. Have a great day.